Faculty, parents, students. Assalamu alaikum jami'an. Congratulations, class of 2023. It's an honor to be speaking with you this evening. Students begged me to mention their names. Jachi, Ali, Tahir, Humaid, Yasmin, Tala, Faris. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to mention every student's name. This is actually what I wanted to talk to you about. Tajri riyahu bima la tashtahi il sufunu. Fall of my freshman year in university. It was October. I was practicing with the basketball team, and I was in the best shape of my life. We had to get up at 6 a.m. and run and run and run and jump and run some more. A week before our first game, I broke bones in my foot. I was devastated. Emotionally, I was broken. Basketball had been central to my life. In high school, I didn't fit in. I was a stranger in a foreign land, and basketball had been my lifeline. I was born and grew up in Japan, but when I was in 9th grade, my family moved to the US. Although I looked like many of my classmates in suburban Detroit, I did not feel like I fit in. Basketball had saved me in high school, but then in my first year of university, basketball was taken away when I broke my foot. After the injury, I would not return to basketball, and I had to create a new path for myself. It was an extremely difficult time in my life, but one that I'm glad I went through. As a community, we have all experienced this living through a pandemic. Many of you began 9th grade here at King's Academy. Life was normal, and then suddenly it was turned upside down. We had to figure out lockdowns, quarantine, testing, and vaccines. As the proverb says, life doesn't always pan out the way you'd like it. Tajri riyahu bima la tashtahi il sufunu. My hope is that your experience here at King's, whether in the classroom, in the dorm, during COCOs, or in the dining hall, has given you experiences that you can reach for when the wind starts to blow in a direction you had not planned. وَمَنْ يَتَّحَيَّبُ صَعُودَ الْجِبَالِ يَعِشْ أَبَدَ الدَّهْرِ بَيْنَ الْحُفَرِ. During my sophomore year of university, I remember the day, November 14, 1995. I was sitting in one of my university classes when the professor announced that my university was providing a scholarship to study in Egypt for a semester. 2 days later, I submitted my application, and I soon found out that I would be spending the spring of 1996 in Egypt. I knew nothing of the Middle East, and this was definitely taking me out of my comfort zone. A new language, culture, and people. But I was excited for my next big step in life. I informed my family that I was headed to Egypt, Dunya. I did not know that in that moment that my life was to change dramatically. It was probably my own naivete. I was not only climbing the literal Mount Sinai, I was metaphorically climbing a mountain that would move me beyond the hills. Inna quwwata takmunu fi qalbin mahma tahashama la yazalu ya'ti. Halfway through the semester in Egypt, I traveled to Palestine, not knowing in the moment the transformative impact it would have on my life. I did not recognize or express that impact in the moment. It was a transformation that was years in the making. It was the idea that my education was not about myself. It was for others. I think you can argue that education can be solely a selfish act. You learn for yourself, you study to make yourself smarter, more articulate, so that you can be successful. But it was in those weeks in Palestine and in the months and years to come, my education became no longer about myself. It was about others. It was to see the world with a new set of lenses. It was to see for myself the injustice in Palestine, and that I could not sit by and not speak up. In order to speak truth to power, one needs to put in effort and commitment. My education was no longer just about myself. As an anthropologist, I studied the history, language, and culture, did field work, and saw firsthand the destructive force of racism, discrimination, and the crimes of apartheid. It is with humility, gratitude, and conviction that I have used my education and life experience to become a teacher. For those of you who've had me in class, I never explicitly mentioned King's Academy's guiding principles. But if you think about all that you have learned, I believe you will begin to connect the dots. الاحترام, حب التعليم, مسؤولية, الحياة متكاملة, المواطنة العالمية. My hope is that you carry these principles wherever you go. For some of you, you may even come to understand that your education is not about you, but how you can help others. 3 things to take away. How will you respond when the wind blows in unexpected ways? When the moment comes to climb the mountain, will you take the challenge? And will you come to see that your education is a way to give to others? Congratulations, class of 2023.